believe I have to remind you that this mission is top secret. Everything that you do will be rejected. Many of our best men have been on this mission before. We sent in countless swabs, and we have uncovered massive levels of intel. But all those that we have caught, their mouths are shut tighter than Fort Knox. Every time we have a good lead, we come up short and empty-handed. This time, however, we're sending you undercover. You're gonna join them, become one of them, watch them, listen to them, and hopefully not be buried by them. We've lost a lot of the best boys we've got. We've lost countless taxpayers' dollars. You cannot become another casualty. Backroom deals, scumbags. We don't know what they're capable of, but we think we know what you're capable of. So be patient and listen. They're out there somewhere. They're out there.
And we are live after I pushed the wrong button. We're good. We're live. Oh, hello
Hooray.
there.
Let's see.
SK, how are you? It's good to see you.
Are we live?
In a sense. I am told that we have an excellent connection. But you are correct. My studio shows
Nothing going.
not live.
Yeah, it still says on the YouTube app on mobile, still says upcoming.
Whoa. There it goes. Huh. Well, there. I'm seeing it on my end now. Cool. All right. I think we're good. I think we
Yep.
are good.
Looks like we're going.
Good to go. All right. I don't know what that was. A little hiccup. Never had that happen before. I did push the wrong button, so maybe I messed it up a little bit.
You goofing.
I know. I goofed up.
Goof trooping.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? This is the Trade and Raid podcast. This is Lord Glarp, and the omnipotent voice you hear surrounding you is the one, the only Sage.
Hello.
The lustrous Sage. Whew. It's Wednesday. How you doing today, Sage?
It's a hump day. It's an alright Wednesday. It's pretty good. Got some news. Got some stuff. I posted in the thing. There's the Intel news where another researcher found a security flaw in Intel processors going back to the 6th gen Intel chips.
Yeah, I was peeking at that. Pretty interesting.
And I'm just like, oh yay! It doesn't affect me because I have a fourth gen chip. So
I have no clue. I think I have a Ryzen something. I'm not sure.
yeah, that's good. It doesn't even matter that much though.
The technological jump in the new Ryzen chips is going to be absolutely insane.
I hope so.
Absolutely bananas. I was looking into their next gen chips, and it's an astronomical jump.
I hope so. The even like the first 2 generations of Ryzen chips was a nice monkey wrench in the status quo.
Yeah.
That was some good stuff.
Yeah, between their pricing and their quality. I mean, you know, they didn't compromise on anything while still being, I use the word affordable, I guess, kind of loosely, but affordable. Sorry, I'm having some microphone issues.
Are you? Sounds okay.
Just like getting it lined up to my face, right? I don't know. It's
Oh.
like it spun away from me, and when I try to spin it back, it's like loosened, so it just kind of falls back into place.
Had a mind of its own.
Yeah, no idea. I guess I'll mess with that later. Alrighty.
Well,
What's what's up? What's up? You say something?
I
You
was just gonna
got
ask
something to say
you-
to me? Huh?
I was gonna ask.
What are you gonna
you
ask?
asked me how I was doing. I was gonna be like, well, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I'm doing real good, Sage.
You fired up?
I'm fired up and ready to go.
You ready to talk
Ready to-
about the Yugi mans?
Not quite yet. Maybe. I don't know. Is this the Sage show? Is that what this is? just get ridiculously violent for no reason.
Trading sage.
As you guys may notice on the YouTube channel, we have been partially rebranded. The YouTube channel no longer says Lord Glarp, and the Discord no longer says LG Gaming. The YouTube channel is now just Trade and Raid, and the Discord has also been renamed Trade and Raid. We have a guy working on a little bit of a, I say branding. It's not a company. The visuals are changing, and got a guy making a really, really awesome piece of artwork for the banner and stuff. I told him he's someone who watches or has watched. He doesn't watch live, but he watches the VODs. He said he was interested in helping me with that rebranding. So I told him to just go hog wild, and whatever he makes, we'll throw it up. Within reason. I mean, But yeah, kind of
Hell
excited.
yeah.
I'm excited. Not kind of. I'm actually very excited. On the YouTube, I don't know how many of you guys saw the community post I put up. Which, by the way, if any of you see those community posts or you see any posts of any kind, like, I know it's a redundant or whatever thing to be like, can you hit the like button on it? I don't have any stats when it comes to the community posts. All the videos I can see if you guys looked at it, even if you didn't watch it, I can at least get the numbers of impressions. But these community posts, I have no idea if these are worth doing or not. I do not know. The only thing I got is if someone actually likes one. That's the only measure I have. Our first live podcast episode is going on tonight, 1 month ago. It feels like it was a long time ago. It does not feel like a month ago.
It really doesn't, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it really doesn't. I was like, oh, really?
I mean, gosh, I guess 4 weeks. Was that 12 episodes? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and we only skipped one, I think. One or two.
Yeah, I think we've skipped 2 so far. But if you didn't see the community post, I wrote, the channel has officially been rebranded to Trade and Raid. Though the branding element may take a bit to change over, expect some changes to come between now and the 18th as far as content and branding go. This change comes to celebrate the channel expanding and in no way being driven by me, Lord Glarp, alone. We're a team now and a community. We are Trade and Raid. Feels like the wind has just barely caught our sails, but we're definitely heading in the right direction. Trade smart and raid hard, my friends. So yeah, it feels good. Feels good. It's always felt a little, if it's just me making my own thing, doing my own thing, it's like it makes sense that it would just have my name on it. But, at a certain point, like I kind of want to go by the name Mike. I'd like you guys to call me Mike. Hey, Mike. Because I'm Mike. My name's Mike. Like, Lord Glarp is my gamer name. This is a little bit, you and I, me and you who are watching, we got a little bit more rapport going on now, we got a first name basis thing going on. Yeah, and I wanted to kind of reflect that I'm looking at this as a a team and a community and kind of an evolving thing, not just me thing. Yeah. I am not so narcissistic as to want my name on everything if there's like a bunch of people going to be co-hosting and helping me out and all that. Just don't feel right. Probably overthinking it, just like the Trade and Raid podcast. But I don't know. What do you think, Sage? What do you think about it?
I think it's great. I think it's all good. I think keeping it more open, more general, and then getting a little more personal with you as the face, at least.
Right. How did you highlight that in chat? I don't know how you did that.
You?
If you just say Trade and Raid in chat, does it highlight it? It does. Huh. That's interesting. Because it's the name of the channel, and if you left click on it, it will take you to the channel. That's neat.
Oh, so it's like a link. Okay.
Creates like an automatic link in chat. Interesting. I didn't know about that. Huh. So, on this Wednesday of days, on the 8th of August, year of our Lord 2023, we're going to talk about some Pokemons.
Chin Pokemon!
Pokemon! Yeah. Did you ever watch Rusty version?
Not in a while, but I have had seen a few episodes.
Pokemon. I'm gonna hear that in my head now.
I just can't take Pokemon super serious anymore.
I don't think it should be taken serious. I mean, it's no more than
some people in the tournament scene, especially, get super into it.
Do you know
but
why?
I guess you can. Well, there's money involved. That's usually why.
The winner of the championship this year gets 10 grand for
That's
winning at a game
money.
of Pokemon, man.
That's crazy.
And the cards aren't expensive. That's something I really appreciate about Pokemon as opposed to Magic is obviously Magic is the superior game, but Pokemon has to be competitive is not expensive.
It has a lower economic barrier to entry.
Yeah. Like the high value Pokemon cards are cards that are the exact same as the ones you play with, stats wise, attacks wise, all that shit. They just have like a better look or a different look. So the rarity of the card is in how it's
like the
different
foil
from the core
or whatever.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they do alternative art, full card art. You know, they'll do like rainbow holographic full card, you know, whatever. But I like that they keep the rarity and the cosmetic. And then when it comes to gameplay, all of the cards are accessible. I think that's really good. I think that's a very good way of doing it. And whoever wins, I think it's like whoever's in the top 4 or top 6 of the championship, they take their deck list and they make a special championship deck, and you can purchase the decks that won the tournament, which I think is cool. That's a neat thing to do for the winners too, if I'm understanding that correctly. So we got a whole bunch of announcements. I forget, what was the event called? Pokemon's big event.
It's an event, and it's big.
I have to get up and get a drink here. Usually I keep backups over here, and I didn't. The Pokemon Company held a Pokemon Presents showcase to talk about upcoming projects in the series. If you missed the show, you can catch the VOD right here or on the YouTubes. But if you just want to know the highlights, read on. So this is it. It's Pokemon Presents is what it's called. The official Pokemon YouTube channel is where you'd want to check that out. They got the full VOD of the whole thing. I forget how long this is. It is only 34 minutes long. Not too bad. The stream led with an update on the Pokemon World Championship taking place in Yokohama, Japan this weekend. Shout out to anyone who's able to make it out there because I get FOMO every year watching it from afar. And I did have I had a thing for it, and I got rid of it because it was just a lot of technical information, like panels and shit like that that's going on. Nothing that I imagine anyone cares about if they're not going to actually be there. The company will also be hosting the Pokemon Trainer Cruise, an event on a cruise ship where people attending worlds can gather on the vessel to play, trade, and vibe, which is very interesting. If I get more information on that, I'll definitely let you guys know, because I think that's kind of weird. Like a Pokemon-themed physical Pokemon cruise where you are locked into a petri dish with a bunch of Pokemon nerds. It sounds like too much Pokemon to me.
It sounds a little overdosey, yeah.
And don't forget, guys, because this episode of the podcast is about Pokemon, the term, the phrase Pokemon is going to begin to mean nothing. It's going to lose all value. The Pokemon Company is putting out a new animation called Pokemon Path to Peak, which follows a trading card game player and the premiere ahead of the World's Championship tournament. Saw the preview of this. Pretty cool. It is a animated series about playing Pokemon the card game, so it's not actually taking place in the Pokemon world. Kind of wonder if it's going to go in like a Yu-Gi-Oh direction, potentially, maybe. Don't know enough about it.
Art style looks cute, though.
Yeah, it does. I agree. What is that? It reminds me of Phooey. Like a Pixar, I guess.
Yeah, like a Pixar-y. Some of their modern stuff.
Yeah.
Where they're just more expressive, big-eyed.
Detective Pikachu returns. Let me, Sage, you gotta remind me to share my screen with you. I keep forgetting. Detective Pikachu's returns. Next up was a lengthy trailer for Detective Pikachu Returns, the upcoming adventure sequel coming to Switch on October 6th. The first game on 3DS rules, and you should absolutely play it. Gotta say, let me see here. I'm trying very hard not to get DMCA'd on this one. So I'm gonna crank up the quality of this. You guys can let me know. This looks bad to me.
But is he voiced by Ryan Reynolds?
Where humans and Pokemon side. Oh, a great detective.
Now he's very
and I'm what you might call a great detective.
Very rough
and
voice.
Here in Rhyme City.
I don't know. Maybe it's because Pokemon's just so like stylized that it looks a certain way to me, but this looks bad. Like this looks like bad quality.
This looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
That's what I was thinking, but I kind of wanted to get your opinion on it because I'm like, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about it. I don't know, but because at times there's certain points where it zooms in and I'm like, oh, it doesn't look too bad. But then I look at the textures
shading
of
and
everything.
the lighting is so flat.
Right. Yeah, it's almost like Sims. Like this is like Sims 3. You know? Sims 3 with Pokemon. If someone told me that they had made a trailer for like a modded Pokemon Sims like fan thing, and they showed me this, I'd be like, that's cool. But like for one of the most successful franchises in history, it seems a little.
It just seems like they're throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and not necessarily devoting a lot of quality to anything in particular, especially if they don't think it's guaranteed to be a hit. Like Pokemon Snap, I'm pretty sure they knew how much demand had built up for a new Pokemon Snap game. So they dumped a lot of quality into that. But this feels more like just something to do in the off season, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, true. I do kind of forget the limitations of the Switch are kind of getting there a little bit too. I still think of the Switch as like a newer next gen thing, and it is definitely not.
It's definitely not.
I think they said we're getting the next Nintendo product. Like, was it next year?
I think that's what they were saying. Yeah, that's the plan.
Pokemon Horizons. New Pokemon anime series following Ash and Pikachu's departure has been airing in Japan for a while now, but the English version is also in the works and should be airing over on this side of the world soon. While we don't got a date, the Pokemon Company teased the new series with a new trailer. And I gotta say, so you got talking, growly voice Detective Pikachu, right? You've got Pikachu as like all the iconography, obviously. And then they finally wrap up the Ash and Pikachu story arc that's been going on since I was like 8 years old or some shit.
Since the dawn of time.
My entire life, basically. And the new group, one of the main characters in the new group is a Pikachu. And it's... I don't understand. It's Pikachu with a hat on. He just wears a hat.
I'm telling you, it's just the marketability. They just like, I don't know, they did some A/B testing or something, and this was like with Pikachu, without Pikachu, and like with Pikachu did a bajillion times better. So they're like, okay, with Pikachu, that's just that's got to be it.
It just feels so ran out, you know. Feels
disappointing.
Feels like it ran. It's like, oh gosh, Sage, keep everyone entertained for a minute.
All right, I'll sing a song or do a little jig. Oh, I can't see it though. That's fine. I haven't played. I'm out of it with Pokemon too. I haven't played. The newest Pokemon games that I've actually played are Sun and Moon, and I've barely played it. My wife and I got the two. I got Sun. I think she got Moon. I'm pretty sure she beat it, and I played it for like 3 or 4 hours, and that was as far as I got on it. I even bought the remakes for the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and I just because that was the last big Pokemon game that I was super into, was the Ruby and Sapphire ones, and same thing. I just couldn't get back into it. I am not super into Pokemon anymore. I was more into Pokemon GO than I was any of the like mainline-ish Pokemon games anymore. I haven't watched the show in forever, seen any of the movies in forever. I keep an eye on stuff, but I just am not really into it anymore.
My stand like just fell off.
It said no. It was having a bad day.
I have no idea how that happened. It was just the whole stand. Like, I got my my arm with my microphone on it attached to my desk, and the part that's attached to the desk just fell apart. It just fell into pieces. And I'm sitting here holding the bar, trying to talk. And I'm like, I cannot hold this the entire podcast.
Shattered. Critical hit.
Pokemon Go gets Paldea monsters.
Yay!
So for all of you who are Scarlet and Violet enjoyers, sounds good. Good stuff. Mewtwo, Pokemon Unite. You know, I played Pokemon Unite a little bit, and I enjoyed it. I felt like it was a little too fast in how quick the rounds went. The gameplay was not too fast, but just, I don't know. It was like League of Legends, but the games only were like a quarter the length, and I don't know. It just kind of felt very rushed. Games were too fast. The pacing was good. Games too fast. Pokemon MOBA is getting a new mode called Panic Parade, which has you and your team protecting a Tinkaton from an enemy team. The Mega Mewtwo Y is coming to the roster on August 17th. It's got about 8 days for that. Pokemon Masters EX. Nemona and Palmot will be the first Paldea Sync pair added to Masters EX and are available now. I don't know what that means. That was
that's what I was going to say.
That was a bunch of nonsense words. Judging from the picture, Victor and Specterior are seen in Pokemon Masters EX. Okay, so that's these two. I think. Victor might be this guy? I am not sure.
Who can say? I would assume so, but I mean...
I have no clue. Why are we covering this? Neither of us play Pokemon. Pokemon Cafe Remix. Tatsuguri in its many forms are joining Pokemon Cafe Remix, but you'll only be able to pick one of the 3 to be part of your staff during its debut event. What was that?
Is that just like a mini game where you own a Pokemon themed restaurant?
Are we
or
eating
something?
these? Are we killing these?
Well, it's like, okay, so you remember like the OG show where like the trio went to a fair and were eating like a chocolate Magikarp or like a cooked Magikarps, and it's like, is that how things are? Is that what?
So
Is it chocolate covered?
Tatsugiri is an extremely cunning Pokemon. It feigns weakness to lure in prey, then orders its partner to attack.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Nintendo Switch Online, Pokemon Trading Card Game, and Pokemon Stadium 2 are available on the Nintendo Switch Online now after the showcase. There you go. You can oh no, that's future stuff. Yeah, you can snag that. The Pokemon Trading Card Game was actually pretty fun. It was not bad. Obviously,
for being a what game was it? Game Boy Color? Was it actually?
Yeah.
It was a Game Boy Color game, right? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. For being a Game Boy Color game, it definitely was kind of impressive with how much of the card game it actually had in it.
yeah, and it was kind of cool collecting cards, making your deck and stuff. Like, that's a lot for, I think, for an old handheld game. And
without
Pokemon,
having to continually ask mom and dad for money to buy new packs.
Right.
Yeah.
So, they got room to add features, is what you're saying. Could you imagine if they took a game that old, put it on the Switch, and then added some paid content to it? Oh my gosh. Pokemon Stadium 2 was pretty good, but Gale of Darkness for the GameCube, I think, will be forever my favorite Pokemon game.
Which one was the first one for GameCube? Was Gale of Darkness, or was that the second one? I think that was the second one. I can look this up.
I just really enjoyed Gale of Darkness, and that's where they kind of introduced the whole dark Pokemon, corrupted Pokemon concept. Pokemon Sleep. When the moon is full, it's time for a good sleep day. Your Snorlax's drowsy power will be stronger than usual.
Okay, yeah, Coliseum.
I know nothing
Gale of
about
Darkness.
Pokemon Sleep other than it was recording people's farts. That's all I know about it.
Yeah, we covered that for a minute.
I was gonna say that's the only thing I know about. But for all of you who are trying Pokemon Sleep, it's getting a good sleep day event, a good sleep day, which I don't like that. Increases drowsy power that will occur on nights with a full moon. So this is not a game you play. It's a game that tracks your sleep. So if it's having like a special event, do you get like more points for sleeping more? I am so very confused by this. We might need someone to clarify. Pokemon Paldean Winds announcement trailer. This is cool. I'm excited about this. I like this ancient looking, or more like a medieval style Pokemon world. Obviously it's not, because they have like backpacks and paper and stuff. So it's in some kind of in-between place, I think.
Well, it's each region is based off of different areas of the world, right? So like Kanto and Johto are obviously based on like Japan. And I'm not familiar with all of the regions. I think the regions in like the Black and White games were actually based off of like Europe, like European areas. And I think Paldea is also based on differenter European areas. It's like the Arceus Legends was based off of like older Japan areas.
Right.
So it's like they theme the different regions.
I'm a big fan of medieval Pokemon. Like Pokeballs that are like made out of like wood.
I thought it was cool. Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
What was it? There was the movie Pokemon Forever with Celebi in it, where like, freaking spoiler alert for a movie that's freaking ancient now. But Professor Oak is actually a time traveler in it. But he comes to the future as a kid, and he has like an old, like, you know, one of the prototype Pokeballs or something, and like to open it, he actually has to like unscrew the cap off of it for it to open. And it's just like, it's neat to think of it as having like the world of Pokemon has its own like technological development cycle around like Pokemon and stuff. And I'm like, I really wish they kind of did more with that. Like the PC system for like Pokemon storage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't want them to go like Star Warsy with it and like over explain things, but there's definitely room there for them to show a bit more.
There is the band episode that only aired like once in the US and twice in Japan or something, or maybe twice in Japan and never in the US. And the whole episode was about following Porygon into a Pokeball. So it was like the Ash and the whole crew went inside of a Pokeball. And that whole episode got trashed because of like epileptic seizures and shit from it.
Yeah, the Porygon Electric Soldier. Yep,
so I think there's like a disproportionate lack of information based on the production and like practical use of Pokeballs that was all covered in a single episode. They just never returned to it.
And that's such a shame, because like, how cool would it be for them to do an episode? Actually, you know what? I can't actually say anything, because it's not like I've seen every single episode, and they've just been running long enough that they may very well have done like episodes in a Pokeball manufacturing facility or something like along those lines. That maybe they did. Yeah, I don't remember one, but maybe they did.
Ahead of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's DLC, a new digital anime called Paldean Winds is launching on September 6th. It follows students of the Paldea Academy as they figure out their place in the world. Pokemon's digital anime series are quietly some of the best things to come out of the series, so I'm looking forward to these. digital anime series. I like the animation. The animation looks great. Like just this tiny little snippet.
Yeah, the character design looks good and everything. I am not a fan of school settings for animes, though.
Very overdone.
Yeah.
Very,
But-
very, very overdone.
Maybe they'll do a good job and it'll be an exception.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet gets Mew and more. And finally, the headlining event was Scarlet and Violet's updates. The games are getting Mew and Mewtwo event with a mystery gift drop to get Mew and a Terra Raid boss fight to capture Mewtwo. Mew is available now, and Mewtwo Raid will run from September 1st to 17th. And I caught Mew on Pokemon GO 2 days ago. Finally. I finally did it. Completely new Pokemon are coming to Scarlet and Violet. During today's Pokemon Presents Game Freak show, gave us a new look at the upcoming Scarlet and Violet expansions, the Teal Mask and Indigo Disc. Here we learned that there are several new Pokemon coming along the DLCs, including new Paradox Legendary Pokemon. So these Paradox Legendaries are either ancient versions or future versions of the same Pokemon. They're doing a little bit of that, what is that? The Marvel's multi-dimensional verse.
Everything's about the multiverse these days.
Everything.
Yeah, it's pretty topical. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised. I'm waiting for them to officially add in, you know, that like smusher thing where you can like specify two Pokemon and it just kind of like mashes them together.
Yeah.
Like they're sprites.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm waiting for them to like use AI or something like that and just like here is a basically completely procedurally generated Pokemon world from AI.
I mean, at this
never run
point-
into the same Pokemon twice.
At this point, they could make an every type version of every Pokemon.
Yeah, pretty much. They
You
have
know.
such a huge roster.
It's like, where's Dragon Pikachu or Fire Pikachu or the
It's
third
like-
evolution of Pikachu that was scratched actually looked really cool.
This image, I'm just like, okay, so a Raikou fucked a giraffe, and now they have long necks. Like,
Look
what
at that mustache.
is that? A mustache or
Look
is
at
it a
that-
turtleneck?
Look at that elegant mustache.
Oh, it's something.
He could have almost looked cool if it wasn't for
Such a long boy.
Dude. What's that game where you play the girl who's surviving in like this future ruled by robots, and there's like robots that look like animals in the wild?
Oh, yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Do you remember the gigantic
first one, yeah.
walkers that had the big discs for a head?
Yeah, those things were pretty cool looking.
That's
yeah.
what it is.
It's kind of reminiscent of that.
That's
Yeah,
what they made. I was like, this looks familiar. Why?
but it's a Pokemon.
That is-
Raikou Shakespeare.
what else we got here?
I
know
don't even know.
I have no clue what this is.
No idea.
I'm assuming this is a future version. I'm assuming
It
this
looks-
is like a Brontosaurus version.
It looks like if you combined a Metagross with a Donphant.
Man, I have no clue what this is.
No idea. A cherry mixed with a Slugma.
Slugma? Yep, you're right. You're right.
A cherry mixed with a Slugma. That's these are just like random AI generated smush Pokemons. That's what these are.
I recognize it as a legendary.
Robotnik, roboticized one of the deer Pokemon. That's that's my headcanon.
This is just a transformer, right?
it's a Maximal. Yeah, it's from Beast Wars.
Definitely from Beast Wars.
Oh my
what is
god.
this? Raikou and Cobalion? Who's Cobal? Okay, this is Cobalion. This guy.
So it's an actual so it's not even a legit robot. Like it's a it's a regular ass Pokemon. They just here's the
It's-
metal version.
It's they're like, this is the future
God.
version of him.
He got roboticized.
I think they said this is like, you know how they had like the Aloha versions? Or not Aloha.
The Alolan, yeah.
The
The
Alolan?
Alolan versions was really cool though, and it actually made a lot of sense.
I thought they were great versions. So this is like kind of like that, but instead it's the multiverse. Like there's a universe in which this is what happened. There's a universe in which this is what happened.
Meh.
Very meh. Not my deal. Man, look how stupid that thing looks.
So long. it's like the memes of Long Cat. That's it's gonna get memed to death.
Oh yeah.
That'll be entertaining.
Look at that picture.
That's what I was thinking. The next one, it's fucking giraffe rig fucked a Raikou, and there we go.
There it is. You called it.
Reminds me of the Doduo with the stupid head, and it's like, be strong from mother.
Yeah, be strong from mother. Exactly. I mean, that's a pretty sick piece of artwork right there. I still think he looks dumb, but that's a great piece of artwork.
That's great, yeah, for sure. Some people will make it look cool, but plenty more will will call it out for as stupid as it is.
There it is. There it is.
Hey, yep.
Yeah.
Someone else's resemblance.
That's exactly what it made me think of. Imagine playing a Pokemon game and this thing's walking by very slowly, but this is how tall it is.
Yeah. You know, I kind of feel the same way about it as I feel about the Magic the Gathering crossover stuff. Like, I don't know, originality is dead.
So good.
95% of it.
Oh, I'm sure there's someone in a suit and tie somewhere who knew best, and
yeah,
self-respecting artists and people who love Pokemon would never do this. Maybe in Japan they would, I don't know. Oh yeah, there it is again. Yeah. Yep. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I thought I was kind of going out on a limb with that, but seeing them side by side, I'm like, no.
Absolutely on point.
This too. It's so good. Oh man. Yep. Pokemon Go adding Scarlet and Violet starters and more from Paldea. I'm not gonna read this. But just letting you know, that's in the news. If you're a big fan, this will be there.
You're still playing those ones?
Let's see here. The mobile game has been holding its annual Go Fest, the biggest Pokemon Go event of the year. His website says since the beginning of August, players can participate in the fest for free, or for a $15 ticket that this year will let them encounter this person, which is capable of mega evolving. Okay, let's see what this is. This is what you get for $15. You get that.
It's a sheep fairy rock thing.
And then it mega evolves into that.
It's a bigger sheep fairy rock thing.
There it is.
That's worth so many monies.
Smash or pass, Sage?
That's a smash. I mean,
obviously.
Absolutely.
I mean, she basically looks like a butt plug, right?
Oh, God.
I mean, this is
anything if you're brave enough.
Anything's a butt plug if you're brave enough.
Oh,
I mean,
Lordy.
I feel like this is like the Wish.com butt plug mega evolves into like a jeweled one. It's just a fancier one.
Ripping on Pokemon.
Yeah,
poor things.
Concurrent viewers went down a little bit there.
They can't help what they are.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. The old school Pokemon trading card game comes to Switch, but look at this. Like, it was good. They just took like basically regular Pokemon assets, and
yeah, like they already had the artwork and sprite work and stuff done.
And to me, I guess maybe it would have, like, now that I'm older, I would think, like, this sounds really redundant. Like, why wouldn't you just play Pokemon? I don't know. It hit different.
Well, I mean, people play MTG online, and, like, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! Online and stuff. It's like, why should Pokemon... And this was almost like I think they had Yu-Gi-Oh games back there. I don't think they had like an MTG type game that did anything any justice at that point. Like this was probably one of the best card games
There was an amazing
back in the day.
Magic the Gathering PC game back in the day. And you played as a normal dude in the world of Magic the Gathering, but you walked around with a deck of cards, playing cards against the creatures and bosses of the world who are also playing with cards.
Interesting.
It was very strange. It was very, very
I
strange.
played one back in the day that had a it was more like an active RPG type thing. But each combat phase was like real time summoning.
Oh yeah, that was on the
back
360.
and forth. Oh, I played it on PC, but it very well could have been ported to 360
because
as well.
the announcer would announce everything you play. He'd be like, "Plays Man of War Elf."
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know why that voice line is in my head. I probably just had an elf deck and played that a lot.
Stuck.
So, Sage, I got a question for you. Not a trick question. I know you're out of the Pokemon thing a bit.
All right.
But what would be, in your opinion, the worst plushie to make a Pokemon of?
Ooh. The worst.
The worst. Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. That if I had to choose one that I would like absolutely, if I saw it in the store and I would be like, who would buy this? No one would buy this. Whoever came out with this is like desperate to be fired. It would have to be just like one of the random unknown Pokemons from like
Right.
one of the current one of the middle generation games, like one of the like normal bird type
Just
Pokemon that someone would just be like, it's just a plushie of a bird. Like if you didn't know any better, you'd be like, okay, why is there a bird plushie with the other Pokemon plushies? They just
Like
think
a-
it's a freaking
like a poorly
what is it,
made
Swallowtail?
Pidgeotto or something.
Not like first gen, because first gen has like even like first
Oh,
and
that's
second
true.
gen has too much of a nostalgia factor.
Like Swaloon or something.
Yeah, something from like the third or fourth or fifth gen. Like those ones, there's some bird Pokemon in there that are just
Bird, really, yeah.
Yeah, they're just basically just a bird.
Can't even remember the name of them because they're very forgettable.
And
So,
a lot of the they're just forgettable.
have you ever heard of a Pokemon called Wiglet?
Is it actually no actually? Is it related to like Diglett?
Yeah, it looks kind of like Diglett.
Okay.
So this is a Wiglet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks related to a Diglett.
It's like a Diglett that lives on like beaches. It's like a sandy Diglett.
That's okay. Yeah. What are they called? Limpet worms? Is that what they're based off of?
Yeah. So this is Pokemon number 960. It's a water type.
God damn.
Maybe it lives underwater for all I know. I thought it was like a beaches thing. But yeah, so it's from the Paldean region. So can you imagine this in plushie form?
Oh yeah, it's a little.
Because here it is in plushie form.
Not.
There it is. Please, YouTube, please. I'm only here to report the news. But maybe this is just a bad angle. We'll switch the angle. How about that?
No.
No? Yeah, we'll keep going?
Yeah.
Are we there yet? A little better.
Simple to manufacture. I'll give them that.
If you look straight top down, it still looks bad.
Like if they didn't do like the top, like if they'd actually given the face like on the side instead of like completely tube tube form, I think it would have had a chance. But like that, no, just absolutely not.
10 and 1/4 inches. You know what's interesting? What's interesting to me is this says the exact dimensions here. It's like 10.2, right? Measures about 10 and 1/4 inches tall, right? But up here it says, oh, this must mean other plushies that are between 10 and 15. Okay, yeah. That's
so in that category.
I was very confused. I was like, over 10 to 15? I mean, I guess that's true. So this is $25 for a 10-inch Pokemon wiener sticking out of the sand.
Jesus.
There are no customer reviews. This just came out. Now, the best part about this is there's free shipping on orders over $20. So they will ship this straight to your ass for free, which is nice.
in discreet packaging. just turn it into a Dakimakura.
And as you can see, there's no limit on quantity, so
sky's the limit. I'm sure they have a warehouse or two full of them.
So obviously, when I found out about this, I had to take to the Twitter, not to be mistaken with X, and don't ask me why. Mind your business. That's a good one. That's a fantastic glitch right there.
Oh no!
And
say hello to my little friend.
Good times. Yeah, I feel like they knew what they were doing.
Someone had to have known.
They knew. They had to have known. The best part is this picture right here. If they're using stuff like Google Shop, in the purchased carousels, will automatically fill it with this. This will just pop up in advertising.
Jeez.
And it's just Wiglet Poke Plush.
Man. And for the design, like, people have memed about Diglets for years, right? Like,
right.
The underground Diglett memes. Like,
the only way they could have made this worse is if they just made it black instead of white. And they were like, it's bigger than a Diglett. Blacker too.
It just makes sense.
It just works.
Oh.
And I got some really cool news. I've discovered this basically right as we went live. This is very fresh news. Trainer, this is so cool. Let's see here. Meet Jasper HN, a dedicated Pokemon Go player who recently accomplished something truly out of the ordinary in the Pokemon world. Jasper HN embarked on a journey like no other, teaming up with his trusty buddy Pokemon Unknown J to conquer an incredible feat, walking a whopping 10,000 kilometers over 1,128 days. That's more than 5 miles a day for over 3 years. And
his legs are so swole.
And the thing is, to walk with your buddy takes more steps than just booting up the game as well. You can imagine the dedication it takes to achieve such a milestone. Jesper HN partnership with Unknown J wasn't just about racking up kilometers. It was a testament to their bond forged in the world of Pokemon. Okay, this is a little, okay.
Little flowery.
Yeah, quite a bit. So, let me see if I can get this picture up so you guys can see it. There we go. There it is. Look at that. And he just kept going. But it's cool because it does track how many days you've been walking with the same buddy, which means he never changed buddies. This number resets. I mean, basically all of this resets. He collected 3,681 candy walking this Pokemon, took 316 selfies with this Pokemon. He visited 239 new places, which means it doesn't count the same one twice.
Yeah, he's not just going on a routine walk every day. He's actually
fed
going places.
his buddy 613 berries. And the routes feature of the game is very new. We covered that last week? And he has already completed 12 routes together.
Damn.
So yeah, that's what I was about to say, is like he's playing with this buddy. This is not just like, because I was like, well, maybe it was farmed or maybe it was botted or something. But I'm like, this is too wild of numbers in my opinion. Especially like battles and stuff. That's where you have to stop walking. Playing together, you have to stop walking.
Seems legit.
Giving your buddy treats, you got to feed them. You got to feed them 3 at a time to get their hearts up. So, just saying, very legit, very cool. I imagine they should add an achievement to the game just for that, if they don't already have one. Oh, yeah. Good call, SK. Yeah, I forgot. You have to feed them the berries to get them to follow you. That's true.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that means he did... Oh, you know what? So if we pop our calculator up... So that would be 613 divided by 3.
It's basically going to be 200.
So 204. That means he fed him 204 times, but that also means he only went for 204 walks. So if we put in 10,000 kilometers and divide that by 204, that would mean that when he walked with his buddy, he walked an average of 49 miles per time he walked. Or 49 kilometers, excuse me.
That's a lot of walking.
I mean, how long would it take to walk that much?
How many pairs of boots did he go through? Walking all that much. Were the boots made for walking?
SK says not necessarily, so maybe I'm not thinking, maybe I'm missing something. The feed bar is time-based. Well, that's what I'm saying is like... After about an hour, the bar is empty. Now I don't know. How long? I mean, if you're walking 5 miles an hour, I mean, now the numbers don't. So maybe give your buddy a treat. Does this count one time every time you feed him 3 treats? Like, if you feed him 3 treats, does it count as 1 as far as like taking account of the number? Someone open up their Pokemon Go and let me know, because then this number would probably make more sense if it was divided by 613. Because then it would be 16 miles per time. Yeah, maybe it was just a lot of driving. Maybe it was just a lot of like 15 mile an hour driving. I feel like it'd have to be. Like, mathematically, I feel like it'd have to be. Still pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Some real dedication, at least.
I mean, if it was 50 miles a day, they'd have to be driving. But with it being about 16, and if you get about 15 miles an hour and your buddy is out for 1 hour, that would make sense to me. Driving a pretty consistent 15 miles an hour. Yeah. And that was just the amount of time he walked with his buddy. I mean, he was probably playing the game the in-between time as well.
True. And there's other ways, too. Like, I mean, he could have been cycling. He could have been pedaling a bike. And
True.
If he had a Pokemon Go Plus, then you can get a lot done with that.
Tracking your time as you're moving.
Yeah. Reaching over, hitting the button just to hit stops as you cruise by. Maybe. Yeah.
Might be time to boot up my Pokemon Go. Might be time to check it back out again. I've been dabbling a little bit, but...
Yeah, I have basically a jailbroken phone, and so Pokemon Go is not directly supported on it, so I stopped playing when I got my previous phone.
Gotcha. Oh man, Sage, are you ready for the next segment?
Bring it on.
Because it's
the doozy.
It's a doozy. I'm just thinking. Okay, here we go. I spent a lot of time looking for the best and most comprehensive Pokemon Iceberg that I could find on the internet. And this one to me seemed like the best. There were some that looked like they had more things, just more things in them. But some of them seemed either redundant or like they were just throwing shit in there to throw shit in there. This one seems the best. Now, this one is a work in progress. And it was updated, was that last month? Month before? It's last updated basically the end of June, beginning of July. It's been updated quite a bit. It has 491 entries. We are not going to go through 491 entries. However, I am basically reaching out to the maker, and I'm going to see if we can work together to finish it, because I want to actually cover it. I want to make a YouTube video that goes through the entire iceberg. Make like a, I don't know, an 8-hour-long video where I go through every one. I don't know. Maybe it'll come out in parts or something. Maybe each one of these segments I'll make a part. I don't know. Alrighty. The Nugget Bridge. Pretty much everyone in the Pokemon fandom knows these facts. Even those outside of the fandom probably know these. I was like, not me. So a lot of you may know Missing No. I feel like that is a great place to start because I think everyone knows what Missing No is.
And it's such a classic too.
It is. This is the one I remember. Is this one here? This top left-hand corner fuzzy guy? Missing No has some pretty cool lore. Now let's say I wanted to talk to you guys about the Missing No, and we're just gonna talk about that. This is how much information there is on it. And it's a lot. Like, there is a lot of fucking information. So Missing No ghost form uses the sprite of the ghost found in Pokemon Tower. If the player does not have the Sylph scope, it is index number blah. I mean, it just gets into a lot. So there's actually variations on the Missing No, which is something that I did not know. I thought it was just this guy, the red and blue version one. But the yellow version had a completely different looking one, which is crazy. And then there were some like odd, I don't know if it's odd colorations or Missing No's for fossil Pokemon. So I bring this up just to let you guys know that I am not going to go in depth on every single thing in here. I will glaze over quite a few of these. But there is a pretty vast history with the Missing No. Even stats and stuff, things he can learn. He's showed up in things like Pokemon Stadium. It's usually a glitch-based thing, and they've all been kind of just shoved into one bowl. I don't know why Pokemon versus Digimon is part of this, other than a lot of people back in the day were confused. So you'd have parents who get their kids like Digimon cards. They're like, the Mons, the Digimons, the Pokemons, they're the same thing. Digimon just as good. Actually, I liked Digimon a lot more when I was a kid. A lot of people know about Surprised Pikachu. I feel like if you've never seen Surprised Pikachu, then you don't use the internet, right? That
yeah,
right there.
that's such a meme. I mean, that's pretty common.
I was looking to see if they had the full scene, the full context. It's just a frame from the Pokemon show. I was gonna say, yeah, the episode from the Pokemon anime where the image comes from is Season 1, Episode 10, Bulbasaur in the Hidden Village. That's classic right there. What happens if I forcibly blend this thing? Thing breaks. Me. Me. There you go. Mewtwo's birthday. One of the diaries in the Pokemon Mansion lists February 6th as the day Mew gave birth, referring to the day Mewtwo's creation, since become a bit of a holiday for Pokemon fans. One of the most infamous video game urban legends was that Mew is under the truck. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember this. I don't know how it spread like such wildfire before the internet was like in full swing. But one of the most infamous video game urban legends, it purported that Mew could be found in red, blue, and yellow version by interacting with the decorative truck in Vermilion Port. The requirements ranged from using strength on the truck to performing the trainer fly glitch. Future Kanto remakes put an item hidden under the truck as a reference to these rumors, a lava cookie in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and a respawning revive in the Let's Go games. Looks like in the chat. Yeah. Oh, you remember the under the truck? I think it might be the first urban legend I ever heard of ever. The weird dark Pokemon Pokedex entries, that's huge with the ghost Pokemon. Ghost Pokemon are my favorite, and there are some truly fucked up Pokedex entries. I wonder if he gives any examples in here. Gorbis. Although Gorbis is the very picture of elegance and beauty while swimming, it is also cruel. When it spots prey, this Pokemon inserts its thin mouth into the prey's body and drains the prey of its bodily fluids. Mimikyu.
Yeah.
A gust of wind revealed what hides under this Pokemon's rag to a passing trainer who went home and died painfully that very night. Just saying, some of the entries are a little fucked. Electric Soldier Porygon, Pokemon Shock. Known in Japan as Computer Warrior Porygon, the 38th episode of the Pokemon anime is infamous for inducing epileptic seizures in children due to a strobe effect used in the episode. Additionally, it's believed that thousands more displayed symptoms of mass hysteria as a result of news coverage of the incident. To avoid future incidents like this, Porygon and its evolutionary relatives have never appeared in the anime outside of small cameos. And yeah, this was the one I was talking to you about. See, make their way nearest Pokemon Center, Pikachu, Distress Nurse Joy. Yeah, there's a whole lot of shit. Scene after Pikachu blew up the missile for health and safety reasons.
Freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Spin-off games. There have been a number of Pokemon spin-offs taking place in different genres, such as Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which is a roguelike, Pokemon Rumble, which is a beat-em-up, and Pokemon Snap. Rail shooter, but with camera. I like that. Pokemon Puck series. Look at this thing. The Pokemon Puck series is so cool. It's like a Street Fighter-y type thing. All right, Brock's jelly-filled donuts. As mentioned above, one of the most infamous cases of regional censorship was Brock's rice balls in episode 25 as jelly-filled donuts. It has since become a joke in the Pokemon fandom to refer to rice balls as such. Ever since the Pokemon Company International began dubbing the anime, they've been consistently referring to as rice balls.
That's so funny.
Brock's rice balls. These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. For them to not change what they look like and to dub that is
a great thing that
wonderful.
became an ongoing in joke.
Let's see here. Regional differences censorship. These are super interesting. Oh, they don't have pictures. There's a lot of them. A lot of them. While regional differences between Japan and international releases are inevitable, several changes, especially in earlier media, have been criticized for either erasing Japanese culture references or boulderizing the media overall. The anime was especially infamous for this. And guys, the sheer number of things that were different in what we saw and what was released in Japan is amazing. Amazing. Even Pokemon types changed, Pokemon categories changed, different forms. I mean, it's nuts. Anyway. Legendary birds equal Spanish numbers. The second half of Articuno Uno and Zapdos and Mol Tres names are derived from the first three numbers in Spanish. Is that a mind equals blown moment for anyone? Because I was today's years old when I found that out. Over 3,000 years ago, Kalos went to war with an unknown region, leading to the loss of many lives, including AZ's Floret. The Pokemon was brought back to life with the ultimate weapon, but it was later used to end the war and take even more lives. This war has spawned many fan theories, such as what region Kalos warred with. Yeah, there's like references. I think that was what, Pokemon White and Black, that referenced deaths of Pokemon and shit. Pikachu used to be fat. For those of you who have been playing Pokemon for a very short period of time, meaning the last decade, we remember Pikachu as looking like this. He was a chunkster. He had no neck. He had tiny little arms. He was a round little bulbous thing. I remember Pikachu looking like this, aside of the Infinity Gauntlet not being there. But yeah, he was more of like a little chicken nugget. And
yeah,
then,
he's a chubby boy.
And then when they made the Dynamax stuff, they Dynamaxed him back into what he used to look like, which I thought was wonderful. Great idea. Chonkster. Muck spelled backwards. That was so funny. The first time I saw that, where they're like, oh, Ekans is just snake spelled backwards, and Arbok is just cobra spelled backwards, and Muck, and that would be like the end of it, with a picture of Muck. And you're like, oh.
Fill in the blank yourself.
Amogus. Just for those of you who have never seen this very, very, very poorly designed creature, it should be destroyed with fire. A mushroomy Pokeball mimic, though initially largely ignored outside of competitive play, Amogus saw a large surge in popularity starting in the late 2020s, thanks to the game Among Us popularity, spawning several jokes regarding Among Us name, which is derived from the term fungus among us. Ta-da! Any more of these? Oh, Markiplier's Smash or Pass video. That's what I was referencing earlier. Mewtwo in armor. Check this out. Armored Mewtwo. Looks pretty dope, I'd say. Looking quite powerful.
Yeah, yeah. Looks pretty dope.
During episode 63 and the beginning of the first movie and its remake, Mewtwo is encased in special armor that allows it to be better controlled by Giannavi. Giannavi? Yeah. Though Mewtwo quickly breaks
Giovanni.
free... Giovanni, thank you. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Breaks free from the armor. The design proved to be very popular amongst fans due to its foreboding design. Armored Mewtwo appeared in Pokemon GO for a limited time and was later released as a promotional card during the Sun and Moon era. Everyone knows about shiny Pokemon. The bugs of Scarlet and Violet. Yeah. Burn Tower. Most, if not all, dedicated fans know about these. So we got the ROM hacking, which is like all of your weird versions that people have made out there. I have personally played a couple that were phenomenal, and I was gonna pop one up, and I was like, I can't remember what any of them were called. I just know all of the Pokemon in the game were fan made, and that the story was very dark. And like your Pokemon, if they didn't white out, they died. It was almost like a forced Nuzlocke to a certain point, but not really. Shall I read the Vaporeon copy pasta?
Ha ha!
An infamously not safe for work copy pasta posted by VP sometime in 2018 that details why female Vaporeons are the best Pokemon for a human to have intercourse with. Due to the copy pasta being extremely graphic and Vaporeon being very popular among furries, this has spawned numerous memes surrounding the pasta as well as the Bubble Jet Pokemon. Merely saying, hey guys, did you know, is enough to make anyone even slightly aware of the copy pasta groan.
Oh my god.
It's good. It's a funny one. It is
this gym of mine. That's interesting. That sounds cool. I'd love to play a ROM hack that would be like you start as a grunt in Team Rocket.
They have that.
And
they have that.
I'd be surprised if they didn't. That makes
sense.
Say,
there's a Rocket version. Yeah. And your goal
awesome.
Your goal is to, like, the reason you want to go to the Pokemon gym is not to get the badge, but to capture the gym leader's best Pokemon. It's genius. And it's like, if you get all of your badges, you get to go to the Elite Four and steal all their Pokemon.
Play as the bad guys. It's a brand new experience.
Let's see here. So some of these, they reference each other. Drying pan. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of bleh. Too much water. Some of these I don't know anything about. Diglett and Dugtrio's bodies. Diglett and Dugtrio are little stub moles poking up from the underground. It is frequently mentioned that nobody knows what they look like. Many fans have speculated that their underground appearance ranging from small, low mole-like body to a giant eldritch form. For what it's worth, the Diglett in Rescue Team games mentions that he was unable to feel his feet while stuck on the top of Mount Steel. So there's that. I thought Mega Evolutions were dumb.
I thought they could have been cool, but it just felt like a Digimon thing to me, though, because like the classical Digimon thing was always that the evolutions were always temporary, right? But Pokemon was like, nope, once they evolve, they're evolved for good. So if you want to evolve your Pokemon, you better really want it, you know. And there are situations like the anime was like, oh, you could get attached, you know, and that's why you wouldn't want to evolve your Pokemon. But like in the games, like there was game mechanics, you know. Usually Pokemon would learn certain moves earlier, or like would learn moves, but not at all if they evolved. So it was actually like good reasons to not evolve a Pokemon right away and stuff. So like that's, I don't know. Yeah. Mega Evolutions kind of took away from one of the things that made Pokemon more unique amongst other monster catchy collecty games.
The Pokemon that became Raikou, Entei, and Sukune? Sukune? Saying that
I
right?
think it's pronounced Suicune.
Suicune?
I think so. If I remember from the movie that one was in.
They were said to originally be 3 nameless Pokemon who perished in the Brass Tower fire before being revived by Ho-Oh. The most common theory is that they were originally the Kanto evolutions Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon, respectively. Due to their shared types and prior X and Y, the legendary beasts having the same hidden abilities as the EV evolution's primary abilities. However, their pre-resurrection appearance in the Pokemon Generations episode, The Reawakening, seemingly debunks this, as they appear to be genetic animalistic beasts prior to their death and subsequent rebirth, which is also interesting. Pokemon banned from GTS due to swears in their names. The Global Trade Station has a built-in word filter intended to prevent Pokemon with inappropriate nicknames. Like a Swanna named Fuck a Duck, from being traded and displayed. However, in Gen 4 and 5s, this filter was too strong, blocking certain Pokemon with slurs in their name from being traded unless they were nicknamed. Starting in Generation 6, the games used the console's built-in word filter to prevent Pokemon from receiving inappropriate names in the first place. It is amazing to me that it took 6 generations for them to be like, we're just not going to let you do it.
The silly thing is,
So odd.
with the way language evolves over time too. Like, that's just, I don't know. I think it's silly to even bother outside of like the online part, like because for that, it's going to pass through a server, and the server can do all the processing that would require, to search words and be updated, if they wanted to maintain a database of what was once fine but is now a slur and stuff like that. So, but I mean, some of the memes, some of the immature fun of naming your Pokemon naughty things,
Right.
It's like, and showing your friends and like, hee, look, I named my Bulbasaur Buttbasaur, and my butt was sore and stuff like. It's like some of it's pretty innocent, but like if the powers that be decide that no, that's immature, and you're not allowed to have fun playing a Pokemon game naming your thing stupid as an adult, I'm like, I don't know, it feels too Clockwork Orangey, something.
So this, like,
1982.
this weird eelfish Pokemon has no weaknesses. Balsasaur. Nice. So that's interesting. Tynamo. Due to being electric type and having levitate, which negates electric soul ground weakness, Tyano, electric, and Electros have no weaknesses by default.
Huh.
Neat. Non-human Pokemon antagonists and spin-offs. A fandom term that refers to Pokemon that are added. Oh, HM slaves. Yeah. Added to the party solely to learn hidden machines. Moves to be used in the field. Because HM moves can't be forgotten and are often weak, HM slaves are used instead. Regional rodents, especially Leon and Bibarel, are the most common candidates for HM slavery. Starting in Generation 7, HMs have been removed in favor of different travel mechanics, such as riding Pokemon for transport or having a bike that can traverse water. I remember having a HM slave Pokemon. Where I was like, he's got to be able to learn fly and swim and cut and strength. Ash is in a coma. It's pretty neat.
That's a classic.
It is a classic. Ash is in a coma is a popular fan theory based on the Pokemon anime and his alternate take on the first episode of the series. Ash is actually stricken by lightning and is placed in a coma which lasts at most to the Sun and Moon series. I think that's really cool. And then here it's like a whole thing. I mean, it is a whole ass thing. And there's like a lot of backing for it. But there's a huge copy pasta about it. Yeah. Very interesting. I want to be the very best. I think we're good on this one. I don't see anything else that really sticks out. Beginning in Generation 6, all of the starters' fully evolved forms are bipedal, or at least significantly anthropomorphic compared to later generations. The topic is quite controversial in the fandom, with detractors claiming that Game Freak is attempting to appeal to furries and or coomers at the expense of good character design. I don't think I buy that, but I mean, sure. I mean, if the data's there, far be it for me.
Yeah, no, I doubt it. Like it's going to be business decisions that are chiefly, dominating that, and it's going to be designing characters that appeal to the demographic that they're targeting,
which is like always children. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the furry fandom and related things, and older fans growing into adulthood and staying fans, that's all like an aside. That's just kind of a thing that I don't foresee them pandering to in any large, meaningful way.
Gary's dead Raticate. In Red and Blue and the remakes, Gary uses Rattata in his third battle in Cerulean, which later evolves into Eradicate by the time you battle him on the SS Anne. However, when you battle him again in the Pokemon Tower, his Raticate is nowhere to be seen. As such, many have theorized that Gary's Raticate did not survive the injuries it sustained on the SS Anne, and Gary couldn't make it to a Pokemon Center in time due to the crowds. The theory also states that Gary came to the Pokemon Tower to bury and mourn his Raticate. A more lighter theory states that Gary simply abandoned Raticate due to it being weak. But I mean, you see the Rattata and you see the Raticate every time you bump into him, but then when you get to the tower, which is a graveyard, that's when it's missing. I mean, seems pretty well implied. The Beauty and the Beach. The 18th episode of Pokemon anime, Beauty and the Beach, is infamous for featuring many female characters in skimpy bikinis, as well as a scene that was cut from international airing in which James disguises himself as a bikini-clad beach beauty contest entrant, complete with inflatable gag boobs. The episode was aired in the US as scheduled, but was only reran once roughly a month after originally airing before never being seen again. Interesting. Gambling controversy. Game corner removal. Pokemon's game corners are casinos in everything but name, right up to having luck-based slot machines. Many parents having expressed concern and outrage over children potentially developing a gambling addiction from these games. Roll my eyes as hard as I fucking can. The ultimate nail in the coffin for the game corner was when Pan-European Game Information Organization required games that had simulated gambling to receive higher ratings. Because this would tarnish Pokemon's family-friendly image, the game corner was gutted to only have Voltorb flip in the international version of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, ultimately being removed entirely beginning in Generation 5. Additionally, the trading card game has also been accused of promoting gambling due to a random nature of packs, and was even blocked in Saudi Arabia due to promoting gambling. Which, holy shit, man. Like, why don't we care about it anymore? The gambling in games. Why don't we care anymore?
It's a weird line that's like both thin and thick. A weird line in the sand. Because on the one hand, you could kind of go and say, like, well, anything that is luck-based is technically gambling. So it's like, oh, does your game have moves that have a chance to miss? That's basically gambling.
Yeah.
But then having a replica like area in your game that functions as a gambling den, like, yeah, that's a lot closer to, you know, the darker side in Shades of Grey. But if it's all in game, it's thematically appropriate, you know, they're tying into it, and it's still a game. Like, there's no microtransactions involved, which microtransactions weren't a thing back then. It's very much more in the line of overreaction, I think.
I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. So this is when we get into some of this like weird stuff. Lavender Town Syndrome. I remember hearing this as a kid, of like maybe once or twice. According to this urban legend, hundreds of Japanese children who had listened to Red and Green's Lavender Town theme experienced symptoms such as headache, nausea, and aching, and in some cases deleted. As a result, the pitch was lowered in Japanese blue and international red and blue releases. However, this is a myth and no such alterations exist between the international and Japanese release, with rumor likely springing up due to creepiness of the music and the town in general. And then Pokemon Lost Silver is one of like the first creepypastas ever, I think. Alongside Lavender Town Syndrome, Lost Silver is one of the most well-known Pokemon creepypastas concerning a bizarre used Pokemon Silver cartridge which depicts a gruesome and depressing story about the protagonist dying and being forgotten. It later got a very popular Game Maker adaptation that added a separate, even more bizarre path. Even after the original creepypasta's heyday, the author continued to update the story with new findings from the cartridge, most notably a new path featuring Celebi and a Houndoom nicknamed Forever. The creepypasta saw a slight resurgence in 2001 thanks to Friday Night Funk mod Lullaby, which featured a Lost Silver themed song. Yep. Bad eggs, an anti-cheat measure introduced in 3rd generation. They spawn when the game's checksum returns an incorrect message, which usually occurs when the game's data is sloppily altered. These eggs cannot hatch nor be released outside of cheating, and they can even corrupt the data of their Pokemon.
Huh. Interesting.
Let's see here. Mega Evolution is painful for Pokemon. Looked that up and got some stuff all around by it, but basically looking it up, according to everything I've read, Mega Evolution hurts Pokemon. Treatment of Mega Evolution in Sun and Moon. Let's see, Mega Evolution was just sidelined for the genre. If this says anything about it. Nah, this is just about the game. So, yeah. Apparently there are references within the game that it's painful whenever they do Mega Evolution. Which I don't know why they would write that in.
It hurts.
Snorlax is based off a real person. One of the most beloved Pokemon is Snorlax. Meet the man who inspired the character. In a recent interview with Japanese newspaper Yomiuri, Pokemon art director Ken confirmed that planner Koji Nishino served as the model for Snorlax. Nishino has worked on the series since Red and Green. There it is. I guess I kind of see the resemblance, especially in the in the very shiny top of head region. Well, that's nice. Being the model for this very jolly character. Thought they were gonna show someone sleeping, like someone just looked over at him sleeping and decided to turn him into a Pokemon. Real animals in the Pokemon world. There have been mentioned a number of times to exist in the Pokemon world. Most often they are mentioned in relation to Pokemon category. For example, Pikachu is known as Mouse Pokemon and was directly referred to in the anime as an electric mouse, hinting the real world mice exist in the Pokemon world. Other than this, all other mentions of animals are rare. But there are, I mean, they say it's rare, but look at the size of this. Like,
Yeah?
there's a lot of mention, like the cow costume, exactly. Wild Pidgey eating a regular worm, a fish biting Slowpoke's tail. There's a random mongoose. Yeah. It's interesting. The regular ass animals show up, I mean, I would say quite a bit, but there you go. A lot of the stuff is like visual references, like this is a starfish shell on the bucket and a clam. So stuff like that. Pokemon hacking injection, shiny alternately colored Pokemon. Hey You Pikachu anger hoax. What is this? Pikachu hates Sony. Consoles and Sony PlayStation, many people began to spread rumors saying that either Sony or PlayStation would cause Pikachu to become angry. Oh, yeah, because you could like talk, right? You could like talk into the microphone and Pikachu would listen to you.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you said the word Sony or PlayStation, they claim that Pikachu would look pissed. Pretty funny.
How dare.
Venatoids? An illusionary fusion of Venusaur and Blastoise created by Ghastly to scare Ash's Bulbasaur and Squirrel during the Ghost of Maiden's Peak episode. It's quite popular among fans, many of whom want to see it as an actual Pokemon game. I don't know if I have no memory of Venatoids. Oh yeah, okay. I mean, he looks kind of cool. I don't mind Venatoids.
Telling you, them AI Pokemon fusions, they're gonna happen.
Pokemon Clover. A ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red created by various anonymous users from /VP. The hack is somewhat controversial due to its not safe for work, politically incorrect humor, but has been praised for its sprite work, difficulty, and level of polish. Yeah, I took a peek at it, and I will probably play it because it looks ridiculous. The Pokemon in it are some of the ones I saw. I'm not going to speak to all of them, but the ones I saw were funny as fuck. Like, they were just super. It's like it's very self-aware. It's making fun of Pokemon. It's playable. It's fun. It's polished. And it's very self-aware. If you're easily offended, probably not, though. People believe that Ash, having been so excited to become a Pokemon trainer and go on an adventure, was blessed by Ho-Ho to forever live his dream of being a Pokemon trainer, which is why he is forever 10 years old. The main problem with the theory is that the Pokedex does not say that Ho-Ho can grant wishes. It does, though, doesn't it? I thought it did. Ho-Ho. Pokedex entry Pokemon Gold. I thought for sure it said that. Legends claim that this Pokemon flies the world skies continuously on its magnificent severed-covered wings. Legend says that its body glows in 7 colors. It will reveal itself before a pure-hearted trainer by shining its bright rainbow-colored wings. Maybe it doesn't. I thought it was supposed to grant something. I mean, it did say it will reveal itself before a pure-hearted trainer, which we know it did do that.
Maybe it's one of them Mandela effect things.
It very well could be. Huh. Interesting. Well, you know what? It doesn't say it does, but he's a legendary bird, and I said he did it. So there. Pokemon Dream World. What is this? It was a browser-based online game that connected to Pokemon Black and White and Pokemon Black and White 2. Operated via the Pokemon Global Link website, the Dream World allowed players to send a Pokemon to the internet to obtain items and meet other Pokemon, making the website like a Generation 5 analog to the Pokewalker. Shut down in 2014 alongside all other services for Generation 5 games. Oh, look at this. Diglett digging another row? Look at... It was just some browser-based thing? Gardening, Island of Dreams, mini games. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, me neither.
And look at the art style. That is goofy. Dream Castle. Looks like Neopets. Oh. Why are they called legendary dogs? Oh, yeah. The legendary dog debate because they're not dogs. Pokemon Bank Home sometimes blocks legit Pokemon. Accidental Nazi imagery. There is a ridiculous amount of accidental Nazi imagery in not US sensitized Pokemon stuff from the original series. For whatever reason, the Iron-Tail tutor in Poke Park Wii, Pikachu's Adventure, is a Primeape who says this. The line has become one of the franchise's most famous innuendos, leading to jokes about Primeape using Iron-Tail with his penis. Yeah, because he just straight up says, I mastered Iron-Tail without a tail.
Jesus.
I mean, he just straight up says that. And we're talking about the Wii, so we're not talking about like Game Boy Color, you know. Lot more copy pasta, censor Pokemon cards. There's a lot of censored stuff. The Great Pokemon War. Before his battle, Lieutenant Surge mentions that he was a former soldier and that his electric Pokemon saved him during an unseen war. There are many theories surrounding the details of the war and its belligerence. With many fans believing that Kanto warred against Junto, possibly taking Blue's parents and the protagonist's fathers as casualties. However, Black and White 2 raised the possibility that Lieutenant Surge is from Unova, which also had a war in its past.
Trouble in Paradise. A fleshed out world with actual world history.
Aw, that's a butthole texture.
God.
There's an unused butthole texture in the files of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Just throwing that out there, guys. At one point in time, somebody was paid by Nintendo to draw a butthole on a Pokemon, and then they decided to scrap it, but they left it in the game's files. That's it. That's all I got. Just let it be known. Be aware, everyone. Mount Pyre, human Pokemon marriage. Pokemon Creepy Black. Ginsect is a modified Kabutops. That one's actually pretty interesting. In short, it looks like it because of its shape and style. Also, Kabutops Pokedex entry said it was a hunter in ancient times, and Gsect's entry is over 300 million years ago. It was feared as the strongest of hunters, and it was modified by Team Plasma. I think that's an interesting thing. Burger King toy recall. Got to be more specific. Oh, no, you don't. Wow, you just type in Burger King toy recall and the Pokeball is the very first thing it's the only thing that comes up. Wow. A $1 million recall campaign was initiated by Burger King, which included television advertisements and warnings on taking out bags and tray liners. Let's see here. Oh, suffocation risk. Containers were determined to present a suffocation hazard, and as such were recalled. Children were shoving those in their mouth and choking on them. Mew 3? That sounds like some fan made up shit. Mew 3 is a Pokemon which has never appeared in any game or anime episode, though it has had one appearance in the overall Pokemon franchise. What? Clefairy transformed into Mew 3. There he is. That's Mew 3. He's Mewtwo, but with a curlicue on his forehead.
Amazing.
Let's see here. It is the second clone of Mew. It is technically not a real Pokemon, as it is just a transformed form of Red's Clefairy. After successfully cloning Mew and creating Mewtwo, one of the scientists reclaims that they should get started on Mew 3. Appearances in the manga. In the Pocket Monsters manga, Mew 3's only appearance to date, Red's Clefairy becomes Mew 3 after merging its own DNA with Mewtwo's. Clefairy Mew 3 proceeds to battle and defeat Mew 2 before being reverted to normal. Well, that's kind of neat. That would have been a much better Pokemon 1 story. Get saved by a Clefairy. Clefairy was originally going to be the series' mascot. That's interesting. Ooh, Pikachu. Look at Pikachu. It was changed to Marl, but it was going to be Pikachu to begin with. Pokegods. You've heard of the who is the first Pokemon? You've heard of that meme, right?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
Who's the first Pokemon? Well, it's like Bulbasaur is the first entry in Pokemon. Rhyhorn is the oldest Pokemon as far as like in canon, like carbon dating or something.
Okay.
But then Arceus is like the
god,
first Pokemon. So there's like, who is the first Pokemon is just kind of a funny.
What does it even mean?
It's definitely like an interesting chicken or egg thing. Right on. SK says right on.
Well, there you have it.
Well, no, Rhyhorn would have came before Rhydon, right? Well, a Rhydon would have had to have a Rhyhorn, maybe. I don't know. It's weird to me that Pokemon can breed before they hit their final stage. Official songs made for specific Pokemon. Rhydon was the first one created. Bug was weak to poison. Mysterious Balm is Arceus' favorite food? What? List of like foods for Pokemon. Mushroom cake, honey cake, grain cake, bean cake, salt cake. I don't know what this is. No clue. Probably shouldn't be browsing the internet like that. We're alive. Hacked Wonder Trade giveaway, Twitch streams, Nuzlocke variant challenges. I think Nuzlocks are great. I really, really thought they were very dumb for a long ass time, and they finally grew on me like a year and a half ago. Out of all of them created in development, Rhydon was the first made. I see.
So an out-of-universe first.
Yes. So another layer. Ice Punch Blaziken Apology? What is this? Japanese Pokemon site apologizes for Ice Punch Blaziken footage. A move it cannot learn. Normally, maybe the pictures were leaked from upcoming event. Okay, I see. That's kind of meh. 4-stage Pokemon lines. The Legend of Dratini. I wish a lot of these had more, banning this controversial episode was banned in almost all countries outside of Japan, largely due to the pervasive use of firearms, which are pointed at Ash and Kaiser and fired at Jesse and James. Oh. It's an episode. Episode 35 was banned in almost all countries. Yeah, look at that. He straight up points a gun right, like, 2 inches from Ash's eyeballs. I don't know if you guys can even see that. The Legend of Dratini. Makes me want to go and, like, watch all these banned things. Looking at picture. Oh, yeah, right there. Look at that. Old man with a gun. Right in Ash's face. Dang.
What good is a gun when so many animals can just laser blast your face off?
Right? Oh, look at this one. Look at that. James straight up holding a gun to an old man's head. Jeez. Ah, okay. Baby legendary Pokemon. That'd all be fan art, right? Yeah, I think that'd all be fan art. Cave of Dragonflies, Ice Punch. Yep, we got that one. Rantom misabled as legendary. Why isn't Rantom considered legendary? I know Rantom isn't legendary, but why? There's only one of him, and the legendary music plays when you fight him. Oh, was he supposed to be? Rantom is not a legendary Pokemon because you can breed it with Ditto to get more Rantom. Also, its stats aren't in the range that legendary Pokemon typically are. So he's one of a kind. Oh, this little guy. I recognize him.
So, like, unique is not legendary.
That's interesting. So there's only one of him. It does play the legendary music when you interact with them, but he is not considered legendary, and he's breedable. I mean, of course he's breedable. Look at him. He's a washer and dryer, a refrigerator, a fan, a lawnmower, whatever that is, and that thing. What a goofy-ass Pokemon. Arbok's hood patterns. What's that all about? Oh, have they changed over time? I don't know. Something I saw about Arbok that blew my mind. Okay, let's see it. Oh, yeah. Okay, so they change based on the region? That's cool. That's neat.
Yeah, there were, I remember, what was it? There was like a little gray dude from the 3rd gen that changed form like based on the weather, and I thought that was so neat. The weather system.
Fakemon are so freaking cool. Like different versions of Pokemon that already exist. I really like it. Let's see. Pokemon card HP inflation. Misty transforming into a Vaporeon. Guns and Pokemon. How shiny Pokemon colors are chosen. There have been no official statements as to how shiny palettes are chosen, and there are a number of theories as to how they came to be, specifically for those from Gen 1 to 4. Some theories say that early shiny palettes were chosen via an algorithm, although even in earlier shiny palettes were always individually defined within the data, while others say that Pokemon have their hue shifted in image-altering programs to determine their shiny palettes. For what it's worth, designer James Turner stated that he chose the shiny colorations of the Ultra Beast that he designed. Interesting. Some of the shinies look awful. There are some awful looking shinies out there. Pokemon Crystal Clear. Let's see what that is real quick. Is a Game Boy Color ROM hack by Shock Slayer based on Pokemon Crystal in English. But, what about it, though? Pick your starter and your region, customize your character, then do whatever you want. You can collect all 16 badges, challenge the new E4 to catch all 251 Okay, I see. Challenge the new Elite Four, catch all 251, re-challenge a gym, and visit new places. There's a lot of things to do. So they just turned the game into an open world RPG. Scaling gyms and trainers, Pokemon palette customization, character customization. Wow, there's 24 starters to choose from. That one actually sounds pretty cool. New move tutors. Buy a residence in any town? That sounds really neat. I like that. This website, Pokemon Harbor, has a ton of reference for different ROMs, hacked ROMs people have made. And if you got like a certain type you like Game Boy Advance or the Nintendo DS or whatever, there's a lot of really good hacks here. They do have this button too, completed, which is really, really great if you don't want to play one that's like half done. I remember back in the day, the first one that I ever played, it was half done and I didn't know that. So I had to just kind of stop playing at a certain point. It was a bummer. And then they do have a top. Yeah. Good stuff. Pokemon Brown and Prism, that would be more question type Arceus. So it says, in Generation 4 games, Arceus has a form corresponding to the question mark type with the type's grayish teal color scheme. Because a corresponding question mark plate doesn't exist, there is no way to obtain this form without hacking. Even if one does hack it in, it'll still be normal type due to the coloration of Arceus forms being purely aesthetic. Oh, okay. So there's a version of him that's in the game's code that's unobtainable. I see. Anything jump out at you, Sage?
It's just getting into this point where a lot of stuff doesn't have the little pop-up info text. So a lot of it I just have no idea. I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't even know what.
yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm looking and I'm like, what was that?
I said, I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Pokemon Factory. Welcome to Pokemon Factory. We're a community-driven website devoted to the creation of fake Pokemon. Oh, that's kind of neat. So the Pokemon Factory, it looks like a website. Located north of Laver City. Players should walk up the path west of Laver City Gym. Team Flare has invaded a building with hopes of stealing all of the Pokeballs in the factory manufacturers. Interesting. Okay, I don't think that's what that is. Dragonite evolving into Yoshi? The red player would then have to go to the basement of the unknown dungeon, surf to the location in which Mewtwo could be found, and use a Firestone to evolve Dragonite into Yoshi. Yoshi would allegedly be designated number 999 in the Pokédex. As expected, the entire method was an April Fool's Day joke. That's pretty cool. the April 1999 of Expert Gamer magazine displayed an article allegedly detailing a method to get the Pokemon Dragonite to evolve into a Yoshi. Here's a picture of the page. Let's see a full-size image. That's pretty cool. Man, in 1999 too? Just imagine. What I'm wondering is, it doesn't look like it says April Fools anywhere. That's fantastic. Man, you know a bunch of kids ripped this out of the magazine and took it to school.
Oh, yeah, right.
Fuck.
Definitely.
Just
The
sitting on
old
the
school-
bus, just trying over and over again.
The early internet April Fools stuff.
It's just a joke. This is a joke, guys. The predecessor to EVs introduced in the first generation and with a maximum cap of 65,535 per stat. When defeating a Pokemon, its base stats are converted into stat experience and give the Pokemon that defeat it. For example, defeating a Tyranitar would give you 100 points in HP, 134 in attack, etc. Stat experience. I don't know. That's interesting. I never heard of that.
It's like Oblivion leveling, but in Pokemon.
That would have been... Man, that would have changed Pokemon so much. Pokemon would have been so different. The meteor in the Rescue Team games came from Hoenn. The meteor in Rescue Team games and the meteor in Delta episode have a few things in common. They are large enough to threaten the world. They are destroyed with a Rayquaza's help, and they house Deoxys. There's a theory that in an alternative timeline, the plan to just teleport it away worked, and it was sent to the Mystery Dungeon world. I'd never played Mystery Dungeon, so I'm not sure what that's referencing. Six-fingered Electabuzz. In Pokemon Stadium, Electabuzz was given a sixth finger. No way. Does he normally have six fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 in that picture. It's gonna boggle my mind if I find out that Electabuzz has 6 fingers. When it usually only has 5. Okay. Whew. For a second there, I thought Electabuzz had 6 fingers this entire time, and I just didn't know. You know, Electabuzz is one of the most interesting Pokemon to me. When I was a kid, I didn't like him at all. Now that I look at him, though, he's so different from any other Pokemon. So different. Like, he's like a little alien, right? He looks like a little alien dude. A little chunk. A little grumpy, chunky alien. And then Electrive that they evolved him into, I think, looks really dumb. A lot of people like him, though. Pokemon Picross 3DS Homebrew Exploit, Luigi and the Plumber type. Oh boy. English anime dub recasting. Due to the anime's waning popularity in America, as well as 4Kids contract expiring, the Pokemon Company International took control of the dub and recast all but 2 members of the original cast. Fans and former voice actors alike expressed outrage over the change, as it was more of a cost-cutting measure than anything else. The reception of new voice actors, especially Ash's, has been very mixed as well. Kadabra evolving while holding an Everstone. Starting in Diamond and Pearl, if Kadabra is traded while holding an Everstone, Kadabra will still evolve into Alakazam, despite the purpose of the Everstone preventing evolution. That'd be so cool if they gave it an alternative art that had the stone flying in midair like that. That would be very cool.
That would be so unique.
Like-
Yeah, that'd be pretty fucking wild.
Almost like he took it into submission, like he beat it, like he fought it or something. I don't know.
Fought it for the right to evolve.
Yeah. Like, you can't stop me. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Sword Shield Peanut Bug Leak.
What?
Nugget. Look at this thing. Bug dragon? What a depressing looking creature. So, did it actually happen? Which fake leak did you fall for? Oh, so it was a fake leak that people took very seriously. There's a bunch of YouTube videos I'm noticing here in the pictures. Pokemon massive leak. New bug dragon Pokemon. New Pokemon leaked for Sword and Shield. Wow, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like at least 5 YouTube videos were made for it. Some of these having, what was this one, 65,000 views? 69,000 views on this one with 2,000 likes. I mean, that ain't nothing. Nice. Oh, man. Wonder Tomb, Wondered Eye, Troubled Productions of Gold and Silver, Baby Nidoqueen in the anime? Oh. Yeah, teeny tiny Nidoqueens. How can there be Baby Nidoqueen? Because the Pokemon anime doesn't know jack about Pokemon. That's funny. I never quite understood how Mewtwo Returns screwed this up. Nidoqueen, it's so weird. Yeah, I guess maybe I was so young that I didn't even notice, but... Remember that one time they put a baby Nidoqueen in a movie? Wow, they must have... They just... Yeah, I mean, look at the size of these Rhyhorns.
yeah, size consistency in stuff like that is very, like, there isn't any.
Yeah, you wouldn't get a baby Nidoqueen. You'd get a baby, like, what, Nidorino or Nidorano or whatever?
Yeah, and like, there's Nidoran male, Nidoran female, I think. And then it was Nidorino and Nidorina. And then Nidoqueen and... Yes!
The Abyssal Ruins. You're engulfed in the knowledge on a children's monster-catching game, and you're seeking out even more facts no matter how obscure. These facts are usually only derived to the general fan base through obscure articles or YouTube videos on them. This is when we get into, like... We're getting really, really, really in the...
Getting into the tall grass.
This is the one I wanted to hit, though. Pikachu cameo and Osmosis Jones. Do you remember?
No way.
Yeah, do you remember Osmosis Jones? I looked into it.
That show?
It is genius why Pikachu cameoed in it. Genius. The film accidentally correct writing. As this post points out, Pikachu makes a split-second cameo in a crowd scene. There's actually a protein called Pikachurin, but it wouldn't be discovered until 2008, 7 years after the film premiered. So they found a Pikachurin in 2008, 7 years, and then there was a Pikachu cameo. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, that's wild.
There he is, though. He's just right there. This dude's just carrying a Pikachu.
Like, was he an extra or?
He's just there. He's just there. Like, there's a random scene, and there's just a Pikachu chilling there.
It's random fucking animated Pikachu. Just
Look at this little
blink
guy.
and you'll miss it. What the fuck?
Someone just slipped him in there. By the way, Osmosis Jones, amazing. Yeah, when I read that, I was like, that's fantastic. Again, today's years old when I learned that Pikachu cameoed in Osmosis Jones. That was the one that really stuck out to me on this when I was looking at it earlier. Or is a post-apocalyptic region. That one's pretty interesting. Anyway, this goes on to Chamber of Emptiness, and then it goes on to this Missouri stage, and this is like, this gets into some like really, really, really obscure stuff. Like the bootleg San Antonio Pokemon Center. Oops. Wrong button. So there's this Pokemon Center called, oh wait, is that it? Pokemania? And there was this like place that was just a Pokemon Center, but everything in it was bootleg. Pikachus are bootlegs, toys are bootlegs, posters are bootlegs, even the sign itself is a bootleg. I can't get a good shot of it. There was some very goofy looking Pokemon in there. Like a weird, like pinkish colored Pikachu that had like this very like dilated, cracked out expression on its face. Really funny. The Gen 3 save failure screen, a rare screen that, as the name suggests, occurs when one of the Gen 3 mainline games fails to save properly. The game does a check of the flash backup memory before attempting to save again. If that fails, then the game will inform the player that the backup memory is damaged or that the internal battery has run dry. This is usually caused by damage to the physical cartridge or, more commonly, the internal battery in counterfeit cartridges running dry. In Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, the save failed screen displays an image of Professor Birch's bag, while in Fire Red and Leaf Green, the screen is simply white with a blue border. It's interesting that in two versions of the game, they just the like this has failed, your battery has failed screen is a picture of an empty bag. That's it. All right. Have we ran dry on that? I feel like we have. Oh, I feel like I've had enough Pokemon for one lifetime. Have I lost you, Sage? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Did you abandon ship?
Just so much Pokemon.
An exhausting amount of Pokemon.
I love one of the bottom ones is Pokemon was never good.
Yeah. Didn't you know? Didn't you hear?
It's great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
A little bit of a shorter episode today. A little bit of an odd one. A little oddball. But, I don't know. There was some, to me anyway, there was some interesting stuff on that iceberg. I think in order for an iceberg to be really, truly explored, you have to look up every individual thing on it in length and study it in length or journalize on it in length or whatever. And there was no way in heck I was going to do that for this podcast.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
I was like, I want to make sure that there's a few in there that I can kind of like, while we're streaming, I can be like, oh yeah, that one. Like, I thought the Osmosis Jones one was great. Just interesting. But yeah, after even only an hour and like 20 minutes of that, I am shot. I don't want to see or hear the word Pokemon for like a week. It's too much.
I could have sworn it was a fever dream or something, but I remembered like an episode of the show where Ash got like somehow turned into a Pikachu. And I only recently found out that no, I did not actually imagine the whole thing.
Oh, was that an episode?
There was actually an episode in the Master Quest series, I think, where there's like some girl with a Murkrow who is a witch, and they cast a spell on a willing Ash and turn him into a Pikachu. And he is
weird.
a Pikachu for like the whole episode, I think.
That's so odd. I always think back to that episode with the Ditto in it. I think Ditto was like the centerpiece of the episode, but this Ditto could turn into people.
God, oh yeah.
And then it raised this question of like, wait, can all Dittos turn into people? Then it's like, wait, how many people in Pokemon are just Dittos? You know?
It's like, are they all NPCs? Ditto NPCs?
Is Ash in a coma? Is everything a Ditto?
That would explain all the Nurse Joys and Officer Jennies, right?
They should make like a sparkly pink ooze version of Ditto that's a fairy type, like a normal / fairy type, and it turns into anything like inanimate objects or creatures or whatever, and then it vanishes, like it goes invisible and leaves like a duplicate behind. So it would like form, let's say, into a TV, and then it would like teleport using its fairy power. It would teleport away, leaving the TV that it just made behind. But if you go to interact with it, it's cake. So it's like a Ditto that could make a replica of anything and leave a perfect cake form behind as like a hide method, like it's being pursued by predators and they get cake, so it doesn't pursue them anymore. But it can also hide as any object, but everything is cake. It would play on the meme. It would be ridiculous. It works with fairy type. I ship it. Shipped. Hopefully next week we'll have a different background behind me and a new opener. I feel like 20 episodes of the same opener is probably the limit. Probably should move on, since that opener makes no freaking sense when it comes to trade and raid.
It's just kind of
that opener means nothing. I had no idea what we were going to talk about on this podcast when I started. Like, I had a rough idea, but I was like, I'm just going to make something. I threw that together in a day.
It's great.
I found a bunch of stock footage and I threw it together. Speaking of, I'll talk to you about that after stream. That's not something to talk about on stream. My bad. Never mind.
Right on. Never mind.
My bad. We're going to wrap it up early. I'm going to wrap it up. We're wrapping.
Sounds good to me.
We'll wrap it up early on Wednesday. It
Put
seems
a little bow
like
on it.
Wednesday does typically, I think Monday enough shit happens over the weekend, and then Friday is such an off the rails catch-all that we go wild with it. Wednesday does seem like to be the like
quicker one. Yeah,
it's quick.
A little more focused.
Yeah, but I basically have to make up shit to talk about because ain't shit happened between Monday and Wednesday. Basically Tuesday and Wednesday because we end the podcast so late. So it's like if something does not happen on between Tuesday and noon on Wednesday, I got nothing. So I'm like, all right, there's a little bit of Pokemon news. That's not enough. We'll throw an iceberg in there.
Put a little deep dive on it.
That's my creative. That's my creative process. Wild card Wednesday. You know what? This is not the first Wednesday that's come up, so that might have to be it for now on. I did see a really cool controller, Nintendo Switch controller that I think you'd be interested in, Sage. It's a Sonic the Hedgehog controller, but it looks really
nice.
really cool. It's very good. I caught a glimpse of it, and I think that's definitely one worth looking into. I think it has a Switch controller, an Xbox controller, and a case, maybe a Switch case. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's gonna about do it for us, I think. I think we're out of here. You're probably gonna see the Red Rocket gas station one more time day after tomorrow, and then we gotta get out of here. It's time to move on to the next place. I'm thinking possibly a milk aisle. I've had this dream of setting up a camera for like an overnight at like a local grocery store. Let me set up a camera and record a milk aisle and put that behind me. What do you think?
Yeah, and just give it like a slight blur to it so that there's always like a little something going on in the background or something. But
yeah,
would be
just people getting milk behind me.
That'd be something.
I don't know. Hopefully someone would like drop one and spill it. Like I'd feel bad for them, but just like in the middle of the podcast, and then just someone drops milk, and 3 minutes later someone puts a cone up. You know, someone
and then
mopping.
An employee goes and cleans it up. Yeah.
Like very mundane things happening behind me, or it'll be something else. I don't know. Probably should keep it. I don't know. I was gonna say probably should keep it on theme, but what the fuck is the theme? A bunch of wild assholes on here. All right. It was good talking to you guys. It was neat talking about Pokemon. We talked about it too much. Probably won't do that again. But we will be back on Friday at 9 p.m. EST, Friday the 11th. Same time, same place, same trade and raid. Hopefully with an amount of rebranding getting started on Friday. And then we're a week out. So on the 18th, we have for sure first interview. That is not going to happen during our normal time. So I have decided the stream will just be basically a if needed, slightly edited down version of whatever that interview is. Sage
or like
and I
a
are going to do it.
DVD commentary style.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So we're going to do it. I'm going to edit it if it needs it. And then we're going to almost immediately get back on here. That's going to be a long day Friday. I hope you're chill with that, Sage. Guess I could have talked to you about that a little bit more. We got like 9 days, right?
We got time.
I think it's going to be a lot to like do the interview in its entirety and then come back on and talk about it. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be on top of our mind excited. I don't know. But that interview is going to be released separately on the channel, and we're going to talk about it too. So you get the kind of the more raw version of it, and then you get our commentary version of it. Cool. All right. You got anything for the people, Sage?
Thank you all for coming by, chatting it up. SK, always a pleasure. We will see you all Friday for a very special episode.
Yeah, excited. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.